everybody, welcome into another edition of The Form, and this week of course we kick off the Melbourne Cup Week Carnival, and to talk about all of the action over there and domestically as well, we've got plenty to touch on. We've got the full crew back in, Leith Innes, Bevan Sweeney, and we've got Aidan Rodley, and as you can see he is standing at Flemington, so we'll be touching in with Aidan very shortly. But first, what's coming up on the agenda? Well, the Group 1 Empire Rose Stakes featuring a Kiwi in that race, our Coolmore Stud Stakes preview, the other Group 1 at Flemington, outside of course of the VRC Derby. Our racetrackers heading to Tauranga, two really nice open races on the program, then to Trentham as well, where we look forward to the Trentham Gold Cup, and our best bets to round out the show. Yes, it is Derby Day at Flemington on Saturday. And our man on the ground of that time of the year is Aidan Rodley. A very good morning to you, Aidan. What's the weather and track conditions looking like at Flemington?
Hi, Pip, and to the boys as well, and to our viewers. Welcome in from Melbourne, where it's been cloudy. The sun's just come out as we rolled the titles, but as always, Flemington has been produced in outstanding order. We'll be looking for a good forward track on Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be super hot. It seems to be mainly cloudy through the week, but that'll just mean that they're ready to rock and roll on what is one of the biggest race days on the Australasian calendar, Pip, and really looking forward to that Kiwi influence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of it, let's take a look at the Group 1 Empire Rose, where we see the likes of Orchestral go around here in the market, and the Kiwi bred, who is the favourite too, a Tissue at $4.20 for Go Racing, Amelia's Jewel at $5.50, Plenty of Ammo at $6.50, and there she is, Orchestral, sitting in the single figures at $7. Speaking of her, well, let's have a look at a Tissue. She's your favourite, running third in the Might and Power Leith. What did you make of this?
Yeah, she was really good, Pip. Obviously, this was a 2,000 metre race, and look, she just gets in with James McDonald. There's a lot to like about her this week. You know, I think the step back from 2,000 to a mile, which is probably, even though it's a Group 1 this week, I don't think it's an overly strong field.
What she's doing is defending her title. She was so good in this race last year. She was so good at this time of year last year. She goes around in those Go Racing colours, and we'll be cheering her on for sure, even though she is up against Orchestral. James McDonald, many tipping him to just extend his Group 1 winning record. Of course, he got to 100 last week in the Cox Plate, and geez, isn't he in a confident frame of mind at the moment. We'll take you to Sydney for one of the key lead-ups as well. This is the King Charles III Stakes, and looking here at Amelia's Jewel, who had run second in the Tramway and second in the Golden Pendant leading in. I thought the run was okay, Leith. Obviously, again, one who's been targeted this race by Annabelle Neesham, and Jamie Carr to do the riding. How did you assess this one?
Look, she's been probably a little bit disappointing on face value. I think the big plus for her is getting back to Flemington. She's won there before on a track that's left-handed. I don't think she looks that comfortable going right-handed. She's been a little bit disappointing for Annabelle. She's only had her for 3 starts, so it's like I said before, it's for a Group 1 race, it's not an overly strong field, and she doesn't have to do much to find that old form of late. Have
a look now at Orchestral, and of course this is up against Elsefina as well, and Elsefina was obviously okay, had won the stock stakes leading into this and was very good, but Orchestral absolutely no luck whatsoever. She was looking for all sorts of runs. We've been out and seen her earlier in the week, Leith, and man, she looks a picture. They're really happy with her build-up. You can rule a line through this and take her on her best form, and I think she's a bona fide contender of winning this Empire race.
Oh, the best thing about her, they've set her for this race as well, and she had no luck in the straight there, but at the same time, she didn't have a gut buster, so she's going to be super well this week, and she's got the blinkers on for the first time too.
You know, liking that gear change, and I just wonder whether, you know, that might just get her somewhere, you know, a way better at the start. But obviously, she just doesn't have that early speed as well. Have a look at Plenty of Ammo from Moonee Valley, and this wasn't a bad win, Leith. I think it's a fair step up into this Empire Rose Stakes, but there was upside in this performance.
Jordan Childs, he's got a good record with the trainer as well, Simon Wild. She's had one start at Flemington for a placing, so she looks like a big sort of striding filly. She won nice at Moonee Valley. Barrier 3 is going to help her just a step up in class, I'm not too sure.
Okay, so that's what the video form-wise is. Let's have a look now what Roger James has to say about his mare Orchestral. Aidan just asked him how happy he is with her leading into the Empire Rose.
Look, as happy as I can be, really. all my riders, and I've had 3 different ones on her for various reasons, and they've all been experts and they're all happy, so if they're happy, I'm happy. She does not have any early speed. We have chosen to put blinkers on her, and hopefully that'll help her travel a little bit more on the bridle during the race and be able to take gaps when they present them. So a little bit of an experiment, but we have been thinking about it for a while, and I think while we're going another mile is the time to do it.
That's the one thing, isn't it, Orchestral sticking to 1,600 metres when we know how potent she is at 2,000 metres, 2,400 metres, but the blinkers go on. This has, as you say, Leith, been a tailor-made preparation around this race, third up and at 1,600 metres. I think she's the horse to beat. I really hope that they can fly the Kiwi flag here. She's won 6 of 12 and she's one of the best horses in New Zealand. Let's hope she can prove that she's one of the best horses in Australasia.
Yeah, I'd certainly be cheering for her as well. You know, the mile's going to suit her, the blinkers, Flemington. I just have our tissue just in front of her. Chris Waller, James McDonald. Look, she loves the track there. She won the race last year. And look, it's a Group 1 field, but I just lacks a little bit of depth.
Kiwi Quinella will stick with that. That race gets underway. The Group 1 Empire Rose. Top of the hour on Saturday, on your big Saturday at 7 p.m. Another Group 1 on the program at Flemington is the Coolmore. Let's take a look at the market. It is race number 6, where Growing Empire comes out of the Everest and is your favourite at $3.60. Traffic Warden at 4.4, and then you've got Switzerland at $6. Let's go back to the Everest and have a look at your favourite here, Growing Empire. What a finish it was to this race, Aidan. What did you make of Growing Empire?
I thought he was first class. He was terrific leading into that with his run for second in the Manikato when he beat Home I Wish I Win that day. And going back 3 starts, the Poseidon Stakes wins was terrific as well. Mark Zara was aboard that day. He's been off in the last couple for Craig Williams and Kieran McAvoy doing the riding on this occasion. He's back on Saturday and I really like him. Lady Camelot wasn't too bad in running to 4th as well, Leith, and the Golden Slipper win looks to be coming up okay as well. Yeah,
it's certainly a pretty good form race, the Everest, and like you said, Glowing Empire, look, he likes Flemington, Zara's back on, handy draw, and he loves that straight.
Okay, have a look at Traffic Warden, of course, a horse who missed out on a start in the Everest. Prior to that, had run a really good race in the Golden Rose, in behind Broadsiding. The run was first class. He's a winner of 3 of 9, and he's only been to Flemington once, Leith, and he was successful that day.
And look, obviously he was in the Everest and he was late scratched. His racing manner's been a colt. He just got a little bit frisky at the start, and Jamie Carr, she stays with him as well. So there's plenty to like about him, and I think if he puts his best behaviour on, he's got to be a top 3 chance.
Yeah, that is the key, isn't it? He just really needs to behave himself. We'll have a look at the Group 2 Roman Consul Stakes, because there's a few key contenders, including the one that Chris Waller says is his #1 seed for this race, and that is Switzerland. Also there you're looking at Coleman, who runs a good race, Gadsby not too far away, and Yoshinobu wasn't too bad either, but Switzerland, he's won 4 of 6. There's so much upside about this boy, and I think he could be potentially the next Zoo Star, especially if he can do what that horse did down the Flemington Straight, Lee.
Yeah, he had a nice hit out last week down the Flemington Straight as well. So, look, they've set him for this race from a long time, from a 3-year-old, and with James McDonald on top, he's got the perfect gait as well.
And the other one we'll have a look at is the Kiwi filly in Bellatrix Star. Boy, hasn't she gone from strength to strength. She's won her last 3 in a row. That last start win, which we're just showing you here in the Scalacci Stakes at Group 2, was a first-class effort. It followed a couple of stakes wins prior. We saw her yesterday. She looks an absolute picture as well, and I know they're pretty happy with her. Whether she's quite up to this class, Leith, I'm not too sure, but she's worth a shot.
Well, she's won her last 3, and geez, they've handled her so well. Obviously, she raced in the early 2-year-old races in New Zealand, the Cracker Millions, and she's on song. She's got Blake Shin on, and he's just winning on everything at the moment as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. So let's hear what Ben Gleeson has to say about Bellatrix Star, and Brittany Taylor just asked him what his expectations are.
Oh, we'd be thrilled if she ran a nice top 4, like given the quality of colts in the race. And Lady Camelot, can't forget her. So it's a very hot Coolmore. You know, even a horse like Coleman could run a race. Everywhere you look, there's good horses. So if she can just continue in an upwards, progression and run a top 4, we'd be thrilled, I reckon. Mark obviously sent her over here with the opinion that she's a proper horse, so his opinion's been vouched for, but to see her beat the older horses and win a Scalacci, you probably wouldn't have imagined that, if we're honest. But, first filly in 21 years to do a feat like that, so if she can repeat that performance, I think she'll be figuring in the finish.
Isn't it great to see her going so well, Bellatrix Star, and I think she can be a contender in this race. However, I thought that was probably nearer to the top of the book, the top of the ratings, and for that reason I'm going to stick with Growing Empire. He was my second tip for the Everest and behind I Wish I Win. He still ran very, very well, and I think Snitzel is probably the danger. I'm really interested to hear what you've got to say on this one, Lee.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to barriers, and in the past, barriers 8 and 9 have been the most winningest in the Coolmore. I've just gone for Switzerland on top. He's got the same sort of form as Home Affairs, Zoo Star. He's owned by Coolmore. Sir Peter Vella's got a small share in him as well, and James McDonald and Chris Waller, I think they'll be getting another Group 1.
Yeah, what a lethal combination that is. So that's race number 6 out of Flemington, and you can catch all the action as well. Trackside Premier is back from 3 p.m. with Emily Murphy and Bruce Sherwin. It's that time. Note these ones down. Leith, who have you found for us this week to track?
Look, I've gone to the last race at Ellerslie last week, and there's a few unluckies in the race. Matani ran last, Mildani. But I just saw Livid Sky run the fastest sort of 800, 600, and ran a faster 200 metres, final 200 than Jaffe in the open 1200 metre race. So the Stephen Orchard train runner, Livid Sky, should be running at Tarapa next week in a rating 75, and if she gets a better barrier and just posies up a sort of just beyond midfield, I think she'll be winning next week.
100% with you there, Lethal. I'm going to one of Alan Sherritt's runners, Malakit. Now, he was one short this day, but thought he was outstanding late in this particular race. He's sure to be improved quite markedly into the next up start. Might just step up in grade or quality into a Saturday race, but the way he hit the line here, I don't think he'll be out of the winner's circle for long.
I'm going to take you back to Riccarton last Saturday and have a look at the performance of Sheaf running on really strongly into 3rd place. This was a massive effort. Prior to this, the horse had never shown any wet track form, had run a very good second placing at Waverley the start before, and reels off the quickest last 6, 4 and 200 metres of this race. I want to stay with Sheaf, as I tend to be doing, following a lot of Kevin Myers horses lately.
And I'm going for a Wexford runner that actually won at Taranaki. Now, this is her second race day start. They've taken their time with her as well, and she just did it really nicely in the end. Spoke to Andrew Scott. She's going to go to Tauranga on the 16th of November to a rating 65 over the 1200 metres. I think she's a nice one to follow. So those are our race trackers. Here's a summary for you. Livid Sky for Leith, Malaki for Bevan, Sheaf for Aiden, and I'm with Miss Bo Peep. Note them down and pop them in your black books. We head to Tauranga for the first of our domestic meetings that we've got to touch on. So, Leith, you've had a little bit of rain in and around the North Island. What are we getting this weekend?
Look, Pip, it has rained a little bit of late. Currently, the track's a good 4. The best thing is the rail's back into the true position. Last time, beginning of October, it was out 9 metres. So, with that rail in the true position, it should give everything a good chance. Okay, well, let's have a look at the first race. It is the Open over the sprint trip here, race number 9, 1300 metres, and we see La Creek return at 390 in favouritism, Navigator at 4.2, and then you've got Wild Night and that third liner betting at $5. Let's go back to La Creek firstly. Exhibition gallop on October the 26th. Aidan, what did you make of this?
Oh, I think she's coming up beautifully, and they've done the right thing by her. They left her in Brisbane after that terrific win in the National Classic over their $500,000 race. We know the quality about her. It looks like they've got her ready to go, and she's obviously wintered very well with the sun on her back there in Queensland as well. The one query, Leith, is that she's normally better second up into her preparation, and this has come up a really strong field with a lot of seasoned horses, but you can't deny her class.
No, I was there on course, and geez, she's the best I've ever seen her look. She looked magnificent. Look, I think they're using this race as a bit of a pipe opener. I'm not saying that she can't win, but I just feel that probably a race like the Counties Breeders over 1400 metres, the weight for age, where they're probably setting her for that race as well.
Look, I reckon that might make her, that trip away last time. It's not really her time of the year into the spring generally, and I note Aidan's thoughts that she's better second up. So I think she's going to come back bigger and better. I just think with 60.5 on her back, giving that much weight to a couple of horses who went around and wait for age last start, that if you're going to just watch her go around, and if she wins, you know how good she is, you can do that on Saturday and maybe play a couple of horses further down the market, and one of those who has to be right in this and is clearly up to very good quality is Navigator. Now, this is a damn good effort after travelling wide in the run, being left out there on that occasion. Great to see Michael McNabb back in the saddle, and this is a prime chance for Michael to get back in the winner's circle. Leith, I thought, even though well beaten by Luberon on the occasion, the performance had massive credit about it, and I think she's he is a major player as he gets him with the 54 back from weight for age.
Yeah, well, that was a Group 1 winning horse, Waitak, running third. Look, he stepped from a rating 675 into a weight for age, and he drops down to 54 kilos this week. So yeah, like you said, it's great to see Michael back in the saddle as well.
Yeah, he is riding this one a kilogram overweight, boys. It's been declared by Steward, so I don't know whether that changes your reckoning of the horse, but obviously going really well. Terrific performance for a horse who does look to have a lot of upside, so as a contender in the race for sure. I want to take you back to the Matamata Cup and have a look at Wild Knight. Boy, this was a performance and a half, and just says that he's back. He's in very good form. We know the class is there, and this Matamata win, actually this was the 1300 metre sprint, wasn't it, not the Cup, so, but still, I thought there was so much upside about this performance, Lee.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it was good to see him back in the winner's circle as well. He had an easy sort of enough run outside the leader, but you'd think coming into this race second up, he's going to be a lot fitter as well.
My only concern about him is that race and meeting was pretty much on speed through the early part of the program, and he had the perfect run to take advantage of it. And he's historically a horse who's had a few issues. So he gets him with 55.5. He goes up in 1.5 kilos from the open handicap he was winning there. But we do know he's an extremely talented horse, and everything's going well for him. I watched that tape, and he was certainly very willing on that occasion. He really did put in. So if he's back and at his very best, we all know that he'll be very competitive here. Lux Libertas, well, sort of stole one, and it was a steal last time. Slipping into that race with the 57.5 as a win horse was a little bit crazy. Now, what I will say is that not many horses came from back on the program, and it went through a gap, Leith, and put them away, albeit the sectionals and time were only on par with the day. So it was just winning a race, which it should have did, and it delivered nicely. Yeah,
certainly this Saturday it's going to be a big step up in class. She gets in with 54 kilos. Obviously, Warren Kennedy had to stick with the Cambridge stud horse, so Masa Hasazumi, he's taken his first ride on her. And look, to be fair, she should have really won her last 5 races in a row. She was very unlucky 2 starts ago, won third as well.
Yeah, absolutely she was. So, as Bevan said, she was just beautifully placed that day, and winning at Te Rapa was a very good performance by a high-class mare. But like you guys say, this is a massive step up in grade for her, from special conditions maiden up against like a Group 1 horse like La Creek. So, yeah, it's interesting. Have a look at Mary Shan. Have a look at the trial, because the trial was very good leading up to her fresh-up performance. She hasn't won in 3 previous fresh-up runs, but she is a classy mare now. Be interesting to just see how she's made that transition into 4-year-old, but on a heavy track she was winning this trial very comfortably, Lee.
Certainly, it's great to see those cabbage trees growing so well at Avondale. Look, Mary Shan, she's a high-class galloper. She was a little bit unlucky in a few of those 3-year-old races last year, and she was masses at the trials. She's won on the track as well there at Tauranga, so big plus.
Yeah, the cabbage trees, absolutely. I think this horse is right in this race, Mary Shan. I think she's a real smoky coming into it. I love that trial. Her 3-year-old performances were very strong. I think she's right up to the quality. She's in on the same sort of mark as the senior horses as a 4-year-old mare. I think she'll get better over feather, that's for sure, but it wouldn't be a surprise to me, Pip, if Mary Shan is to really put her hand up on Saturday. My top selection, though, I've been very impressed by Navigator. I thought Navigator's performance at the Bay was one of the better on the only day we really got underway there at Hastings, and then went to that particular race last start and didn't have a lot of luck. I think there's a lot of quality there, and I'm with Navigator in the feature.
Yeah, I think he's up to winning a sort of an open group race. There's a 1200 metre horse as well. It's great to see Michael McNabb back, and I think this will be giving Navigator will be giving him his first win back.
Well, hopefully he might get a win or two before then. Leith, he's got a handy book of rides for his first day back there. And Tauranga, in the end, I've settled with Wild Knight. Was so taken by what we saw at Matamata last time out, and just thinking that maybe if he's back to his very best form and he can just hold it through, then he's going to take some beating here this weekend.
You certainly will. It's a really nice race. That's race number 9 on the program. Let's jump back one now. Race number 8. This is the Aztec Signs over the 2100 metres for the open class runners, and the Odyssey favourite for Ben and Ryan Foot at 370, Jolted at 420, and Dionysus on that third line of betting at 650. Let's take you back to Ellerslie and have a look at the Odyssey. She beats the likes of Arby here and just kept on finding Aiden on this occasion.
Yeah, I love the ride though. Just got into a beautiful spot, 3 back, 1 off the fence, peeling 3 wide into the straight. And we know the quality of this horse. This was a sweet spot and got the job done. But we know that there's further improvement. I thought my Maybelline girls fought on okay on the inside, and geez, it was some sort of run from Sporting Chance from back in the field, but I really like the Odyssey. I like the way this horse is building into the preparation, and I think can be making it a double this weekend.
Yeah, Courtney's got such a good record with him as well. She's had 9 rides for 5 wins and a placing, and he's 3 for 3 at the distance as well. So he's another one that could be a sort of an early sort of favourite for a race like the Counties Cup, Waikato Cup.
I think he might actually end up in an Auckland Cup, don't you think, Leith, with a bit of time? I think this is one of the more exciting stars in the country after seeing that last up performance. I was with RB on the day, I know you boys with the Odyssey, and put him away and was just cruising at the line. This horse has a lot of staying potential, of course, out of Machiavelli Miss, who was very, very talented in her own right. I think it is between the top 3 in the market. Let's have a look at Jolted, who clearly is a horse with a heck of a lot of ability. Like the run behind a very smart horse, an Arabian Songbird. Just doesn't get the start right here over the 1600 metres. Gets up to 2100 metres out of a Redoutes mare by Deep Impact. There's a lot of pluses on this mare's side. Like the winner's very, very smart here, Leith, but Jolted is going very, very well. Sneaks in with 54. Vincent Colgan aboard. I think there's a lot of upside here as well.
Yeah, there's certainly. It's great to see the Jonathan Munn's colours running in New Zealand as well. Look, she was really good there. Like she's 3rd up. She's won at the distance twice, and look, Vinny on at 54 kilos as well. There's just a little bit of timing. There's not much between her and the Odyssey, but I'm just leaning towards Jolted.
Yeah, I think she's pretty high class, Leith. And speaking to Ken Kelso, he's got a really high opinion of her. She's obviously coming up really nicely. She looks to be just about at peak performance time. Obviously, there will be some bigger assignments coming up, but she's got to be really respected in this field for sure. The one we want to have a look at is the Cup winner in Dionysus. This, to the eye, probably wasn't all that spectacular, but he seems to be building up nicely. I'd like to get your take on him, Leith.
Obviously, this was a weight for age race, and he gets in on Saturday at the top weight of 60 kilos. I'd just rather see him as sort of a 2400 metres as in the Waikato Cup, even going after that, the Auckland Cup. So I think he'll go well on Saturday, but I just can't quite see him in my top 3 this week.
They've just been building him up to possibly a trip across the ditch, to probably sneak down the weight scale in the right sort of race. Dionysus, so I was talking to Ron the other day, and there's a suggestion that they might just find the right spot for him across in Australia in a nice sort of money staying race, because he's always getting lifted up in the weights with his overall record. He's a very, very smart horse. I think he's building to something. He'll be 4th up on Saturday, but maybe, just maybe, he's hit and run merchant into Australia. As far as the selection goes, I agree with Leith that there's not a lot between them, and maybe a same race multi actually stands out, Cornelia Exacta, whichever way you want to go around the Odyssey and Jolted. I've just got the Odyssey fractionally on top.
Yeah, I've just gone for Jolted on top, 54 kilos, the barrier 5. She's won at Tauranga before, and she's 2 for 2 at the distance as well. So it's going to be it's a strong race. It's going to be interesting, but just jolted on top.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Bevan, go with the Odyssey. I just like the way this horse is building into the preparation, and I think there's something about him. I think he's a real Cups horse in the making. And of course, being here at Flemington, we're out and about, not just in the studio, Philip and Morris. You'd be interested to know that Billy Slater's just walked past us.
Oh, has he just? Oh, can you run and go get an autograph for me, please, Aidan, while I talk about the odds searcher at Tauranga? Geez, each and everybody there in Flemington. One day, maybe we'll get there. But yes, if you're having a play at Tauranga, the Odyssey, the Jolted, whatever you like, odds search available on each and every race. So get involved this Saturday on your big Saturday, which gets underway 11:30 a.m. The Fielding Jockey Club are racing at Trentham this weekend with the Fielding Gold Cup and Sweens. As we head to you, obviously, we saw how testing it was on Sunday. Are we getting any improvement this week?
Not at all, Pip, to be honest with you. It was surprising on Sunday because they weren't really cutting the track out, but they were running times that would suggest it was very, very testing. And just to the eye, the horses seemed to be battling, and there were some really light horses who had been good on heavy tracks that just didn't go astride. Went past on Monday, it was pouring. They've had rain Tuesday and Wednesday. There is still some rain in the forecast for Friday through the day and even on Saturday. So I'm going to be going old school, looking for those horses that are as tough as they come to find the winners on Saturday at Trentham.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the Fielding Gold Cup. It is the feature on the program. Race number 7 and Boomtown Boy up the top of the market at $4.60. Sacred Pearl at $5.50, along with Drop of Something. And then you've got Prince Albie at $6. Speaking of real true testing, wet trackers though, let's have a look at this horse. Very Flash will take you back 4 starts ago, and this was on a heavy 10 this day, Bevan.
Yeah, this was a tough testing track condition. Look, there is a bit more quality in this particular field. I don't think there's any doubt about this, but if you want to find the toughest in the race, this is the guy you got to be with, or Prince Albie, who's probably a little bit disrespected in the market. This is Amber's first win, Leith, which is always a massive thrill for the young apprentice. But if you want to find a tough, well-bred horse for the conditions that'll prevail on Saturday, you just can't leave him out of your first fours and trifectas, and I've even got a slot for him on top. Yeah,
it's quite amazing this time of year. We're still going to get a heavy 11 track, so it's full credit to these trainers because they've been up a long time through the winter, and like you said, the dummy Myers trained Very Flash. He'll just, the wetter it gets, the better he's going to go, isn't he?
Now, one of the toughest horses through the winter has been Drop of Something. What a preparation for Wayne Hillis. This horse is just not set down now. It was the same day that Very Flash went around. It was over the 1950. I don't think this is the sort of track conditions that we're going to strike on Saturday. And Very Flash, well, he just battles when it just gets that little bit better. But look, this horse is very versatile, Leith, and gee, it is tough. It's won a couple of races where it looked beaten.
Yeah, and that's the old mate LJ. He's put 2 together on the outside there too, Bevan. So, look, I talked to Wayne during the week, and he was going to go to Tauranga, and then he saw the weather and he said, look, Drop of Something, you're racing for more money, you're going to get probably a smaller field. So he's like, oh, why don't I go to Trentham? And look, Drop of Something, he, like you said, he's been up all winter, but he does love a heavy track, and CL Butler gets the 2 kilos off the back as well, down to that luxury weight of 52 kilos.
Yeah, and the thing about LJ is he can't get any more weight in the cup, so he's been released and he's showing everything he can do. He's a very, very smart horse. Cheval de Foudre, now this, again, is one of the more exciting stars in the country, I think, at the present moment. I've spoken to Mark. He is more than likely heading to Trentham rather than Otiki on Sunday. Now, he jumped away and put himself there this day. This is second up over ground, and look, he had to be very good to win Leith. He has won on a wet track condition. That's Kattegat down to the inside, who put the Northerners away at Ellerslie. He's a really exciting star for the future, this horse.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's probably looking for a little bit better track. Ex sort of Jeff Lynn's trained runner as well, and he's always shown ability, and obviously Mark's had him for 2 runs now, and look, that was a nice win going forward.
Yeah, I remember that run at Trentham where he came from last and blew them away. This horse, if we get a lot of rain, I think is right in it. Leithan sneaks in at a really good spot at 54 kilos. He's a dead set wet tracker, this horse. The wetter, the better. That's Battle Seeker. He's been flying. Mezzabine was pretty unlucky, Kenny Rock. But look, this is the horse, if we get a lot of rain on the day, I think, might sneak right up into calculations.
Yeah, he's by Z, and look, it's interesting. He's never had a race at Trentham before, but I think the big roomy track's going to really suit him. Tina on 54 kilos. Like you said, if it rains on the day, I think he's a great chance.
As far as selection is, I went with Very Flash today. I'm going to go with him again because I think the track is going to be very, very tough. That rail has come out probably to the part of the track where they were winning last Sunday. So whether the inside is off again on Saturday, I'm not 100% convinced because they were coming in that part of the track to win. So the inside was off on Sunday. I'm going to go with Very Flash. I'm suspecting it's going to be very, very tough work on Saturday. And just going with the old theory that you find the toughest and you'll find the winner at Trentham on a tough testing track conditions.
Yeah, they're running for great stake money. They're $80,000 open handicap. And look, I was tossing up between Drop or Something or CL Butler getting down to 53 kilos. I've just gone for Donnybrook. I think he's ready a turn, and it could be this week at Trentham over 2,200.
Okay, so that's what the guys are liking in the Mode Technology Fielding Cup. Now let's have a look at the next race. Race number 6, the Courtesy Ford Red Craze Bowl for the open runners over the 1,400 metres. Maritoli Molly, 270. She's looking for another win. Master Marco at 360. And then you've got Old Town Road at $6 on that third line of betting. Let's go back to Maritoli Molly here. She beats Shanti Lace on this occasion. How does the form stack up for you, Bevan, with her jumping up into open class?
I don't think there's any doubt that the ability's there. I suppose the biggest question mark is on heavy track conditions. She's had one run on heavy track, but she's a different horse now. She used to be very hard to handle, very unruly, do a lot of stuff behind the scenes wrong. Seems to have really developed and starting to act out now. She gets in on the lightweight. You know where she'll be in the run. She can pick her spot on the track to come to. She's out a very good mare in Marituri Miss by El Akbar, who is a bread and butter, a wet track stallion. So, look, it is a step up. There's no doubt about that. But the horse is going well enough. If you could tick the box to say she'll handle the track conditions, Leith, she's right in the mix.
I can't have her on a heavy track. Her last 2 wins, she's led, and Kate's ridden her great. But just that heavy track at Trentham, I just $2.70, just too short for me this week, Bevan.
Oh, I agree. I don't like the price. Absolutely. The price for me doesn't sit comfortably because you've got a couple of horses who are really well performed on wet tracks. And one of those is at the top of the market who's getting 3 kilos off in Master Marco for Kelvin Tyler, who's had these horses stationed up here in the north. Now, this is coming out of Group 1 Weight for Age Company, getting him with 57. The wet track record is strong enough to be a major player at Trentham on Saturday. It hasn't run there yet, which is always a niggle in your back of your mind. But if you transfer this form, Weight for Age, into this particular race with 57, Leith, why is it that long in the market?
Yeah, look, obviously he's never raced at Trentham, so there's a bit of a question mark on that heavy 10-11 track at Trentham. But if he brings any of that form, running 5th in a Group 1 Weight for Age race on Saturday, I think he'd just be winning.
Then the old boy, I've been waiting for him. And whether he's at his best at the moment, I'm not 100% sure. But this is on better track conditions than he likes at Te Tarapa. Now they've run 1:23.6 for 1,400 metres, and it's on speed day. And he almost put himself right there. He got sort of 4th at the 50-metre mark. Now, again, his record at Trentham's not great, but you go back through it and probably not striking the right track conditions. Look, Spencer's been wonderful throughout this preparation. He's probably going to get into the race at the right spot for me with the 4 kilos coming off from Old Town Road, and he loves mud. Well, he generally has loved mud, maybe not quite so much this preparation, Leith, but again, he's at a crazy price in my mind.
Yeah, he was really good there. Obviously, the Spencer form. Look, he's yet to win at Trentham, but like you said, he's a swimmer, and with Amber on, takes the 4 kilos off, gets down to that perfect weight of 55. I definitely have him in my selections, probably top 3.
Well, I'm going to go with him on top, so we'll get the trifecta. Look, I just think he's beautifully spotted. He did really disappoint me when he lined it up at Otaki about 3 or 4 starts ago when I thought, well, this is a home run for him, and he was a bit disappointed. Rainer did win that race, which he'd run 12 months ago. So I'm forgiving of him. He was very good behind Spencer last time. if he gets it all right and he handles the track conditions and he's anywhere near his best, I think he's really tough to beat Old Town Road at a great price.
Yeah, I'm on Master Marco. I think if he brings any of that form when he was fifth in the weight for age, I think he can win. Hopefully it doesn't get out to that sort of real testing heavy track like it was last Sunday. Donovan Cooper on 3 kilos off his back. There's plenty to like about him.
There really is. It's just all comes down to those track conditions. We'll find out what they are on your big Saturday, the first race from Trentham, 12:26.
She's ready, accelerated clear, buying 3 lengths on Big Time Butler around the corner, and then Opawa Maya. Easy for She's Ready.
Jolamonti's fighting on. He's going to put up a wonderful mile time too, and Jolamonti's back 1:52.5.
She's starting to wobble. Alabama Lass coming after her. Kitty Flash and Love Poem, but she'll get there. The favourite delivers. Alabama Lass won it.
On the turn, Wairinger Sonic, Bay Flyers after it. Wairinger Sonic, Bay Flyers over the top. Bay Flyer, Wairinger Sonic.
Yes, we had plenty of green ticks last weekend, so let's try and get some more. Leith, we're going to start with you. Who's your best?
Yeah, I'm going to take you to Tauranga, race 4, Frost Fair. Look, she's been desperately unlucky her last couple. Look, she's had 1 start on the track for 1 win, and look, from the handy draw this week, I think she'll be winning at probably about $3.40 you can get on the tote.
Yeah, she was immense at Te Rapa in an on-speed day. Hokitika Bell for me, for one of Leith's great mates, and Stacey Dugan, talented mare, did a little bit unlucky last time. Whole preparation's been great. I think right in the mix, Hokitika Bell.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to take you to Ashburton on Sunday. Have a look at Spot on Time. Boy, that was a win and a half last time out. It just put a real hole in them. Looks to be still on the way up. And yeah, Spot on Time. You'll have to wait till Sunday for mine, Pip.
You have to wait for Sunday for mine as well, Aidan. I'm going back to the cow with the Outer Baron in race number 2. He was luckless last time out. This time I think he can bounce back and take out the second for Tracy and Lisa Craig. Here's a summary. Let's see what everyone else is liking. Rosso's with the big time Mahi in race number 5 at Hattrick Raceway on Friday. And you can also see the Whale with Sooner the Better at Kaikoura. Looking forward to that. Race number 8 on Monday. And once again, that does complete the form for another week. Aidan, enjoy Flemington. We look forward to your coverage throughout the weekend as well. To everyone else, enjoy all of the coverage. We'll catch you back next week.